Welcome back, everyone. This is Machiagosaurus, and tonight we are playing some Blueprints. If you haven't caught previous streams of this that I've done, it is a roguelike deck building, point and click puzzle game, goes to Mars thing. It's hard to explain, but you'll like it, I think. Okay, let's continue. Now, if you missed last stream of this, we solved a number of puzzles. We cracked a couple more safes, three safes, I believe. Yeah, and got three more red letters. So, and we've got the apple orchard unlocked, which gives us 20 extra steps each day. I'm gonna run out here to the west path real quick. And there's a room out here. Let's see what it is today. Ah, the tool shed. The tool shed gives you two useful items. They're randomized. In our case, we got the watering can, which we can use in a green room to get a gem. We can do that 3 times. And the metal detector, which gives us a chance of finding keys and coins in rooms. Those are pretty good. The watering can is particularly rare. I almost never see it. It usually spawns in one of the rooms, but it happens to be a room that doesn't show up very often. Master Simon, good morning. It has come to my attention that you have been granted a daily allowance to use while on the estate. If it is convenient for you, I will leave the required sum here in the entrance hall each morning. If there is anything else you require, please do not hesitate to ask. Even though we have all been requested to remove ourselves from the premises during your stay, I can assure you I am still personally overseeing that the estate is at least operating at a baseline standard of service that I hope you will one day come to expect of us. Anne Babbage, house manager. So there we go. Now every day we'll start with 2 coins. And we can increase that allowance as we go. Let's grab the Nook. Get ourselves a key real early. Oh, see that the metal detector is going off because the keys are metal. And then it goes away once you pick up whatever it is. So that's how that works. We can do the chapel here. Kind of sucks that it's taking away from our newly acquired allowance, but whatever. Let's put the closet here. It's a dead end anyway. What do we get? We get a gem and a key. Not bad, not bad. Now we gotta go through the chapel again, so we've lost our allowance completely. Let's do the parlor. Oh. Well, there's the wind-up key, but also the magnifying glass. That's useful because you can pull it over papers and stuff and you get a zoomed in view. Alright, let's see what the puzzle is today. All three statements are false. That is false. At least one statement is always true. Two statements are false. That is potentially could be true or false. The gems are in a box with a false statement. Alright. If this is false, then this is true, and both gems are in here. If this is true, then this is false, and it could be in either one of these. I'm going to gamble on it being in this one. Ding, ding. Okay. The drawing room. Now this costs us a gem, but we cracked the safe in here, so it remains open. So we can get our gem back. Effectively making this room cost nothing, which is nice. Let's put in the West Wing Hall. Just looking around to see if there's anything. Again, might as well do the guest bedroom. It's a dead end anyway. Compass. That allows us to draft floor plans that point north more frequently. And there's still something else in this room. Aha! There was a coin. What do we have here? Let's throw in the spare room. I'm not going to go through it just yet. The storeroom, the bedroom, or the planetarium? Let's put in the storeroom. One coin, one key, and one gem. Okay, we're going to have to go with the corridor here because that's the only one that extends this direction. Nothing in it. The passageway is nice, but I don't want to put it in here. It would bump up against the storeroom anyway, so it's not worth spending 2 gems for a 4-way right now. Let's put in the kennel. We haven't seen the kennel yet. This is a room that we added to our deck recently. Lock and clock. C-A-T. That's a mysterious note, if ever they saw one. Pet the doggo. And there are no dig spots today, but usually there's at least one dig spot in the kennel. The kennel makes it so that every time we enter a room with a dig spot, we will, if we dig in that dig spot, it unlocks all the doors. And let me grab this gem, and we can use our watering can to get another gem. And there's something else in this room. Ah, random key. Okay. Let's do the bedroom. I'm not keen on putting in security just yet. This puzzle we unlocked last time, and we did manage to actually puzzle it out off camera. The secret word is mantis. We don't know what that relates to, but we did solve it. Somewhat. That is an interesting necklace she's got there. Alright. Spending keys. Yeah. Pantry is good here. Gain 3 steps. I'm gonna rush back real quick. We've got the steps for it, and we get 2 more for going into the bedroom anyway, so it basically pays for our trip. Let's see here. The courtyard, we've recently upgraded the courtyard, so it gives us 2 gems, plus we'll be able to get a 3rd one. So we will actually be up 2 gems. We've never gotten the ballroom, but the ballroom would be bad for us right now. Whenever you enter the ballroom, it sets your gems to 2. So we would actually lose gems. Okay, there's 1 from the watering can, and 2 from the ground, and there's a trunk. Not sure I want to unlock the trunk yet. Oh boy, the conference room. We've never seen the conference room before. Oh, that is an unfortunate block. Aho! But what's this? An electronic key card. So we can open those electronically sealed doors. Spreading items. Some special rooms allow you to spread items throughout your house. When items are spread, they are immediately placed in several of the rooms currently on your estate. However, if you have a conference room, spread items are gathered in that room instead. So anything that gets spread throughout the house will instead end up in the conference room here. Reminder, after meeting adjourns, take all conference notes and place them in the office safe. Safe code 9083, but it's red, so that means it's a lie. And other than that, there's not a lot in here yet. Looks like the rest of these notepads are blank. Yeah, let's continue this way for a second. Now it's worth it to put in security. Oh, an extra gem. Nice. Now, what I want to do, I want to set the security level to high. That will ensure that we get more of those electronically locked doors, and that will help quite a bit. Also, we were able to make this out with the magnifying glass last time. Swan Song. So let's check that out. Log into network. Swan Song. Oh boy. All right. Staff services. Staff announcements. I don't think anyone else has access to this network this month except you, Simon. So if you're reading this, just know we're all rooting for you. Your friends in faithful service. Oh, that's nice. Special orders. Oh, we can place a special order. for a specific brand of gum or our favorite. Let's see here. Let's place a special order. Oh. We can ask them to put a specific item in the commissary. That's cool. Remote terminal access. Unfortunately, all of the other terminals are offline, so we can't remote connect to any of them right now. Permissions of this terminal do not allow for access to the electronic mail account. Currently, this feature can only be accessed via the terminal located in the office. Okay. Data transfers from Synca are currently not available. And a glossary of terms. We've got a few that we don't know. Interesting stuff. Getting more terminals online might be useful to us. Speaking of which, let's see the laboratory. Just checking to see, yeah, there's something in here. There's a coin. Now there is a puzzle we haven't solved yet. This periodic table, and then where is it? This periodic table. You match up the numbers from the other one with the letters from this one, and it spells out a message. But that message pertains to this machine. And as the sign says, this machine requires additional power piped in from the the boiler room. We haven't even seen the boiler room yet. All right, let's set up an experiment. All right. How about whenever we draft an archived floor plan, permanently add 1 gold to our allowance? That could be useful. Okay. Now the neat thing about this is once you have terminals that are connected, you can remote access them. And then it's like you're at that terminal. Another trunk, but I don't have enough keys to really be wasting them on trunks right at the moment. Let's go with the boudoir. Something in here. 2 coins. So we've got a decent amount of coins built up. We should probably consider putting in the commissary at some point. Speak of the devil. Let's see what's for sale in the commissary today. We can get a shovel for 6 coins. And a gem for 3. Not bad. Alright, I want to jog back to the conference room. And see what's behind this door. Dining room looks good. Servants' quarters is very nice. If you've got a lot of bedrooms, it gives you +1 key for every bedroom in your house. Plus, there's some interesting stuff in there. But it would be a dead end, and I don't want to limit us with dead ends right at the moment. Okay. Of course, the store is locked. Planetarium, I guess. Or observatory, rather. Dimundus Minor. This one will make 4-corner rooms more common, but the majority of those are red rooms, and we kind of don't want that. Locked. Locked. Okay. Finally, one that's not locked. Okay, billiard room. That's probably the best, because it can get us keys. (18 minus 4 is 14. 6 times 1 is 6. 20 divided by 5 is 4. And now we've got 12 minus 4 is 8. Times 2 is 16. Divided by 16 is 1. There we go. Couple of keys. Let's put in the library. I was hoping for room that would go back to the dining room, but that's fine. We took this out the last time, so this is Drafting Strategy Volume 3. The potential within. We all start as an empty floor plan. To the ambitious young architect, a fresh blueprint represents a world of boundless possibilities. When you are staring at a blank canvas, you have an unlimited potential and ideas to explore. But with an abundance of options at your disposal, the architect can also become overwhelmed by the countless choices and decisions that need to be made. Should I draft a hallway or a closet? How many bedrooms do I need in my house? Is passageway really worth 2 gems? All of these questions can compound, adding layers of complexity and stress to the design process. That's why it's even more important to develop simple and effective strategies that you can enjoy while drafting your house to ensure a successful project outcome. In this volume of Architectural Digest, we aim to provide architects with some of these strategies and even assist them in developing their own. Gems, gems, gems. Every architect needs them. Although many architects employ different strategies when developing their house designs, most of them agree on one guiding principle: have gems while drafting. One of the most common ways architects draft themselves into a corner is by not having the resources they need when opening a new door. If you lack the gems to consider all 3 presented options, you may be forced to draft a room you do not want. To avoid this predicament, focus on drafting rooms that grant you gems, and prioritize acquiring gems as early in the day as you can. This approach is a surefire way to set yourself up for success. Readers submitted gem strats. Make sure you check for gems in the room you are in before clicking the door. I do this way too much. If you see gems for sale in any of the shops, buy them out. Think about saving some gems for emergencies. I try to only spend them if I really, really need a room. Don't pass up wine cellar even if you're not thirsty. There's no such thing as too many gems. I may have a bit of a problem. The wine cellar has 3 gems in it. I will never draft Passageway on the first 5 ranks. It's a simple strat that has served me well. Passageway is a room that costs 2 gems, as we saw earlier. Planning your house, estate layout, and drafting. When you begin drafting a house, it's important to start each day with a solid foundation. Draft early ranks first. A very common mistake beginners make is drafting in a straight line north and ignoring the many unopened doors they have left behind in the entrance hall and rooms of the early ranks. When these architects reach the higher ranks, they quickly discover they do not have enough keys or gems to continue. Their day usually ends by returning to the lower ranks to draft from the doors they skipped, only to find rooms and items that would have made all the difference if they had only been found earlier in the day. As the layout to the right demonstrates, even a path of rooms that snakes through the house and does not go in a straight line can also be structurally weak if you're leaving lots of unopened doors on the ranks behind you. By starting each day on a strong foundation of rooms on the early ranks, you will have a much better chance of finding success when you eventually start heading further into the house. This is one of the reasons why I like to double back and make sure that my first 2 ranks are filled out, or as filled out as I can before continuing. Top drafting combos. 5 combos you won't want to miss. Another aspect to consider when planning your house is the order in which you draft rooms. For instance, if you draft Cloister before Terrace, you will be down 3 gems. But if you draft them in the reverse order, Cloister would be free. Identifying a synergistic pair of floor plans is an essential first step. But determining the optimal order for the drafting those rooms will provide you with an additional advantage, significantly improving your chances of success. Other floor plan combos. A foyer drafted before Great Hall would mean that all of its many doors would be unlocked. Drafting Bunk Room after Nursery will give you 10 extra steps because it counts as 2 separate bedroom triggers. You won't have to backtrack constantly to collect your gold spread from an office if you draft a conference room. The more items you have, the greater your chances of being able to create a contraption in the workshop. We haven't even seen the attic or the workshop. Making a connection, estate connectivity. 2-pair combos aren't the only form of room symmetry. You will find some floor plans only work by drafting other specific rooms. These rooms aren't powerful on their own, but can be very useful when their connectivity is eventually discovered. The utility closet is a perfect example of this. It doesn't do anything by itself, but it can literally power up or down other rooms you have drafted in your house. Garage powers garage door and grants west path access. We've already done that, so powering the garage is useless to us. Dark room turns lights back on after blowing a fuse. That's very helpful. Gymnasium turns light off to prevent step loss. Other examples of connectivity. One of the more simple examples, her ladyship's chamber has synergy with Lady Espen's other 2 rooms, her boudoir and her walk-in closet. We haven't seen this one, and this one is a hard room to get because it has to be drafted in a very specific way. The boiler room connects ducts from room to run steam power to specific destinations in the house. Laboratory, garage, laundry room, furnace, and pump room all have uses for steam power. Speaking of pump room, this room controls the water level throughout rooms in the estate and can interact directly with the pool, aquarium, greenhouse, kitchen, and several other features located outside in the main house. Tips and tricks. In the kitchen, you can check which course is being served in the dining room that day. This will allow you the opportunity to draft specific rooms that will make the meal even more delicious. Besides counting as 2 bedrooms, Bunk Room also counts as 2 rooms. This will increase the amount of steps granted by Master Bedroom, the amount of gold spread by the tomb, and the amount of keys found in a servant's quarters. Each time you solve a puzzle in Billiard Room or Parlor, the difficulty will increase slightly the next time you draft that room. That's very true. Just because you didn't find any items in a room when you first explored it, doesn't mean that will be the case the next time you draft it. The day after drafting Freezer, it enters an automated cooldown refreezing cycle during which it cannot be drafted for the next 24 hours. We haven't seen the Freezer, so that's a mystery for us to solve. If you are stuck or don't know what to do in a specific room, sometimes it is smart to move on. There are multiple ways to solve many of the challenges you will come across, and there's a very good chance that you will find a piece of information down the road which may help. When in doubt, draft rooms you have never seen before. Even if you do not think the rooms seem very useful, they may still hold useful clues and information that may help you on your journey. Word from the editor. Although with this volume we have provided our readers with many potential strategies and tricks to try, we here at Architectural Digest hope that aspiring architects know that there truly is no set blueprint for success. Forging your own path and coming up with your own unique strategies will, in our humble opinion, always provide the best results. Each architect has his own favorite room, each builder his own favorite tool, and thus each player in turn will develop their own style of play and discover their own secrets and tricks that they can share with the world or keep to themselves. Whatever strategy you employ, we wish you the best of luck drafting and hope you build the house of your dreams. So that's the Architectural Digest. That gives us some things to think about. Speaking of things to think about, we still have this doorway way back here that we can lead out from. But I'm going to try this door real quick here. Chamber of Mirrors would be a bad place to place it. The boiler room, though, we have never seen, and it's worth having. Okay. So this is the boiler room. There's a door over there, a door here. Downstairs, we have some boilers. This one we can't seem to access at the moment. Let's change the direction of that pipe. Now steam is going through this pipe to here. Now steam is going to the red box there and up top side, which shows us that if we race over there to where we can see, that door is open, but we can't get to it because we need the walkway extended. Let's continue to muddle with this. Now that gives us access to the door, but the door is shut now. And it gives us power up to there, which we don't know what that does. Okay, so now we've got steam going to this, and it's going up to there, but we can change that. And here's our third steamy doohickey. Let's turn the steam over the other way. There is a method to my madness. Let's open this up. Now up here, as you can see, we've got only one of these 3 dots lit up. That's power going to this. That will make another one light up. And hold on. Gotta remember what the combination is that gives access. There we go. That should be all 3 activated. Now, okay, impressive. Now, there are 3 ways we can send power. We can send it this way, back through that, straight ahead, or we can send it down there. You change this by changing this slider. It changes which one is lit up. For us, we're going to keep it on this. And now that we've got it active, we no longer need the steam to be going to that other direction, so we can open that door. So not too shabby, but let's backtrack a bit. Dinner should now be served. Still haven't drafted any archived floor plans. Lemon glazed salmon. Let's have dinner. We would have gotten 10 additional steps if we had an aquarium, but we don't have an aquarium in our house right now. Okay. I'll spend my key here. Put in the rumpus room. And we might as well spend a coin on this machine here.
And as it was foretold, I am awakened at the sound of the dropping coin. You find yourself face to face with the great Alzara. And I suspect you wish me to look into your future. The image is becoming clear. I see the darkened cloud of ruin, familiar to us both, now decrepit, run down, and in disrepair. Until the dawn of the following day, I will have nothing more to say.
Interesting. Now, I'm guessing this is locked. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna have to backtrack all the way to the spare room. This is unfortunate, but there are worse fates. Kitchen is the only one that continues on, so let's do that. Oh, I sped right through the oh, we can't afford our bacon and eggs. Oh well. Crap. Okay. Plan B. There are dig spots in the courtyard. There is a chance that one of these dig spots contains a key. A few coins. Oh, we can get our bacon and eggs. A coin. That's it. So we're stuck. We are stuck. We don't have any coin or any keys. We cannot proceed. We're going to have to call it a day. We got pretty far. We at least saw the boiler room, so that was cool. Now the boiler room doesn't remain powered on. I don't think. Sizable manor, not bad. We'll try again today, I guess. Okay. We never got any archived rooms because we never got the archive, so we never actually increased our allowance by any. But that's okay. There will be other opportunities to increase our allowance. The schoolhouse. We've never had the schoolhouse. Okay. Herbie. Another one of those things. That's 3 out of 4. If we find one more, then something happens. What happens, we don't know. But something happens. Closing address. For the last 38 years, it has been my pleasure of serving as your schoolmaster in this humble little facility. And meager as it may look by modern standards, I think most of us who spent our afternoons here will readily admit that we are reluctant to see this small piece of Reddington history go. I first wish to thank Lady Espen, our most gracious host today, for not only paying attention in my classes those many years ago, but for all the fundraising she has done on behalf of our community and our children. Without her, Reddington Elementary would still be a distant and blurry vision, a vision that I dared not even dream. The dreamer is, of course, the incomparable Mrs. Peterson, our future principal and my reluctant successor, who I might add forced me to give this speech, so I think I'll end my praise of her here, though she deserves much more than I'll admit. To the architect of our new school, the Baron Sinclair, thank you for following in your father's footsteps in building Reddington yet another school, and for also allowing the use of your own private residence and floor plans to serve as our interim facility until the new campus is completed in March. A decision I'm certain he will immediately regret tomorrow morning when he hears the children running through his halls. And lastly, I wish to thank all my students, many of you here today whom I have not seen in years, whose faces I still remember as young and manners wild. Those here whose parents before them I have also taught and whose children I may yet. Without you, I would have had a lifetime of quiet peace, and yet what is all the peace in the world if you have no one to bestow demerits upon? Thank you all sincerely. My time here has meant the world to me, and if I am still standing in 8 months, I will see you all at the slightly less melancholic ribbon-cutting ceremony next year. Better joke to end? Remember to give Mrs. Peterson her gift. Interesting. That's all that's in the classroom, but having the classroom adds a bunch of classrooms to our draft pool. So there's yet more stuff to discover. It's really this game in a nutshell. More stuff to discover. Let's go ahead and put in the den. Grab a gem. Give ourselves a pantry. The nook is a good idea. I do want to do the library, but yeah, we'll do the classroom. So this is our first classroom. Classroom puzzle. Can you find the difference? Bath, bad, H. An inflatable globe of the world. This is grade 1. There's an apple on the desk. That's 2 extra steps. Color worksheet. Fill in each object below with its correct color. And there's lots of stuff. My favorite color is whatever. Interestingly, there are flags. And here are the colors. And we have a couple of students who've left their tests behind. Each color is only used twice, 10 out of 12. So 2 of the colors on this one are wrong. Well, we know that the wagon and the fire hydrant are red. So this gecko can't be red. We know that the pumpkin is orange, broccoli is green, and grapes are purple. Let's look at some other tests and see what we can figure out. This one's got 9 out of 12. This one's got 10 out of 12 as well. So this one also has 2 wrong. This one's got yellow for the mountain flag, purple for the heart flag, and orange for the hourglass flag. This one's got blue, orange, same color, and purple. There's Oh no, they're not the same. But this one is the same as this one back here. And this one got 2 out of 12. So none of these flags are red. Interesting puzzle. So we know this is one of the wrong ones. And one of the blue ones must be wrong because he uses blue 3 times. And it's not the lake because obviously the lake is blue. So either this device here or this flag is wrong. So we know that this flag with the hourglass symbol, that flag is purple. And this flag with the heart symbol, that flag is orange. Those are correct colors. So we know that this is wrong and this is wrong. So everything else must be correct. Meaning this must be the correct color for this flag. So the mountain flag is yellow, the hourglass flag is purple, and the heart flag is orange. That may not seem like it's very important, but it is very important. So we'll have to remember that. Let's just put in the spare room. I want to save the corridor for later because it's always unlocked. And bedroom to continue our run here. The courtyard actually ends up giving us, oh, but it costs us a gem. Okay, well, let's do the library. There's a gem. Alright, so we've seen Drafting Strategy Architectural Digest Volume 3. Let's do History of Orinda. And now we've got the servants' quarters, the study, which is a useful room but would be a dead end, or the boiler room. Let's do the boiler room and see if we can chain this to something that uses the power. Oh, we're gonna have to. Switch that back. Okay. The archives has a power connection. Don't want to do it necessarily, but it has a power connection, so I'm going to. You can see right here, this bar represents the flow of power, and it comes off to the archives, which means that it will pipe power through in all 4 directions. So that's good. It's bad that we have the archives. It's a red room. We do not want the furnace, and I don't have a gem to buy the observatory, so let's do the archive plan. Closet. A gem and an ivory die. Okay. Still more furnace, or corridor, or archive. Let's go with the archive one. The workshop. Interesting. We've never seen the workshop before. Or no, we have. We've seen the workshop once before. Just once, though. Unfortunately, we don't have enough items to make anything. So we'll have to leave this for right now. We'll do the storeroom for its goodies. There. And we got a couple of keys, couple of gems, and a decent number of points. But really only one way to go. Ah, the laboratory. Or we can do one that doesn't cost anything, but there's a decent chance that that's the furnace. So let's do the laboratory. Okay. So now this is powered on, which unfortunately means we're gonna have to solve this puzzle. I thought I remembered it, but I don't. So, hold on 1 second, guys. Had to grab my phone so that I can take a picture of this, because I sure as heck am not going to remember all of these numbers when I'm over there. Okay. So, number 1 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in on the bottom rank. Puh. 1, 2, 3, 4 S. Puss. Push. TH. Number 5 is 2 more over. And then three, six is U, 3 push 3. UU. No, that's not right. UP. 3. Push 3 up. 8. F. 9 is 1 over, and after 9. Push 3 up after 9. Okay. 9, 3, did a thing. The Blackbridge Grotto has been powered and permanently unlocked. Each day you may access one offline terminal from the network. And that's permanent. Nice. Okay, let's continue on. We can do the dark room or the archived one, which we don't know what it is. I think we're gonna have to do the dark room. Yeah, I'll use a key. Spend a gem on an archived plan. We got security. Oh, we forgot to set our experiment for the day. But oops, didn't mean to exit. Since we now know the password for the terminal, we can just access the terminal from here. Remote terminal access. View active terminals. Laboratory. Yeah, I completely forgot to do anything with this. Experiment setup. For each bedroom you draft after your second, whenever you draft a shop room or immediately, lose 10 steps and gain 20 gold, gain +1 star, or set your dice to 2. I'm going to go with the bedroom one and set dice to 2. Okay. We have an unfortunate number of we can't do the passageway or the nursery. We don't have the gems. Corridor, that ended up not biting us. We will do the parlor, and we will get some gems. Okay, the gems are in the false box. The gems are in the false box. Only one of the other boxes is false. That's got to be false, because these say the same thing. So they're either both true or both false. So this one's false. So one of these has to be true. And since they're both true or both false, then the gems must be in the false box, which is this one. Okay, got 2 more gems. And that's my last key. I'll do the chapel. The drawing room gives us back our key, or our gem. The boudoir would have gained us one, but it also would have ended our run.
I got this one for you. Like grandma?
Okay. walk-in closet we've never had, but it will end our run. I'm gonna go with the gymnasium. Man, we're getting all the good stuff this week, or this day. Billiard room, I need the keys. Much fun as it would be to put in another classroom and see what's behind that one. Alright. 4 times 2 is 8. Where's 8? Right there. 5 minus 1 is 4. Divide by 2 is 2. 20 minus 15 is 5. Times 3 is 15. Divide by 15 is 1. Okay, that actually does help us. Put in the planetarium. There's no point in even going into it. It doesn't do anything by itself. We can put in the pool. Locked. Locked. Okay. Well, now we have to do a lot of backtracking. Through the gymnasium, of course. Let's change the security settings to high. Okay, we've still got power flowing, so the kennel, the furnace, which is a dead end, or an unknown. These dots represent how rare the room is. It really wants us to put in that furnace, but I'm not going to. Or should I? Because when it's powered, you get a key from it. Yeah, I'll do it. This is stupid, but... We've never gotten the furnace before, so... Okay, we have a key. And we're going to run through the chapel again. And through the gymnasium again. And we're going to spend our 1 key. We've never had the aquarium. Aquarium counts as every color of room. It's got some interesting stuff in there. By itself, it doesn't do anything, though. Fun. Let's do the hallway. Locked. And that's our lot. We don't have a shovel to dig anything up. So that's all we get. Wait, not yet. I might as well do that from the planetarium. So we get something from it at least. There. Couple of stars. An architect's villa, because we got 5 drafting rooms. Four new rooms. Not bad, not bad. There's still a lot we haven't seen with the boiler room. But most of the good stuff that you get from the boiler room requires gems, so getting it early on can actually screw you up, as it did for us. There was one door we could have gone through, but I mean, at most it would have gotten us one key. Okay, so the tool shed or the shelter or the root cellar. I'm gonna go with the tool shed. Always like the tool shed. Metal detector, nice. Sledgehammer, nice. And while we're out here, let's go explore that one new thing we unlocked. Blackbridge. Admin key. They wouldn't be that stupid, would they? Nah. Okay, well, we're gonna have to find an admin password and 3 little doohickeys to open that door. Well, that's something at least. So long as we have that open, we can use the Blackbridge system to connect to an offline terminal once per day too. So that's cool. Yeah, let's get the den going. And we get a coin. It's nice. I'll take the Nook for a key. And there's a coin. It's too bad you can't do anything with the jukebox in here. Don't need security just yet. And I only have 1 gem. Munch on an apple. Might as well do the parlor. Another coin. Nice. This box and the white box are both empty. This box and the blue box are both empty. The other 2 statements have identical wording. That's false. They're not identical. They're very similar. So the other 2 must be true. Logic. Oh, hello, chest. Lovely coins. We got 21 coins already. Not bad. I would put the drawing room in here, but that's a really terrible place to put it. With exits going left and right, but not up. So I'm going to do the spare room instead. I'm just going to leave it there for right now. Courtyard is an easy one. Because even though it costs us, we actually gain more than it costs. Lots of coins today. We're going to need to put the commissary in so that we can get more out of that. There is reason to go back to the office, but I don't want to spend 2 gems on the office this early. Okay, West Wing Hall. I guess the nursery. I don't think there's anything in the nursery. Oh, wait. I was wrong. There were coins. Okay. Let's just do the corridor. And bedroom, which gives us 7 steps and a key. We can put the hallway in here. Commissary, now we're talking. What do you got for me today? A shovel for 6, I'll take it. Don't really need the magnifying glass. So let's buy out the gems. We don't need the magnifying glass for anything, I don't think. So we can keep 4 gems on us, or 4 coins on us. None of these are great options. I'll go here for the key. Well, we've turned a lot of coins into a lot of keys, so that's good. Do we want security? The chapel. Let's do security. And let's set security level to low. Change the offline mode to unlocked. And swan song. Would you like to connect to this terminal using a Blackbridge connection? Yes. Let's set up an experiment. Whenever you spend 2 or more gems drafting a room, add a small chest to the entrance hall. Okay, so we can do the library. We can do the archives, which is a 4-way, or we can do the pool. Screw it. Let's do the archives. It's not great, but I do not want to do the weight room. So we have either the archived one or the secret passage. Secret passage, we get to pick what room color we want. Let's see here. Let's do a green room. Good thing we found that key. Alright. We can do an aquarium. Counts as a bedroom, so... Okay. Not bad. A little concerned about the number of keys I'm spending. We'll do the pool. This one's 2 gems. Experiment successful. We got the veranda. Veranda gives us a better chance of finding items in green rooms. Vaults, but I'm gonna go over the billiard room for the keys. A coin. The broken lever. All right, so we've got 20 divided by 10 is 2. 5 plus 13 is 18. Divide by 9 is 2. 4 plus 12 is 16. Minus 5 is 11. Times 2 is 22. Divide by 11 is 2. Do note that the metal detector won't detect the keys in here until you get the puzzle right. I think it spawns them at that point. Well, we can do the chapel, which is pointless, the gymnasium, which is pointless, or this archived one. We'll do the archive. Ah, it's the walk-in closet. I don't think we've seen this room before. So we got gem, key, and what else is in here? 4 items. Ah, another key. There we go. Okay. That's a picture of her ladyship, Lady Esben. Okay. So now we're doing pretty good on keys and gems. Let's run back through the archives and go the other way. Let's see where that takes us. We could put the boiler room in. Always a good idea. And archive floor plans with no gem requirements kind of scare me because they can be red rooms. Let's get our power going. Okay. Locksmith, we've never seen. And it lets us buy keys. So that's really tempting. But I'm going to go with this one, which requires a gem and... it's the garage. That's unfortunate. So, because the garage is powered, we have access to the western path, but there's no point in taking it. Alright, so we've only got 2 doors to go from here. We can do the pump room. Actually, let's do the pump room. And really quickly, since this is active, I can change it to go back through the archives. That will power the pump room too. We've never seen the pump room. Okay. Alright, so there's the pump control panel. Pump 1, pump 2, pump 3, pump 4, pump 2 tank switch. And there's tank 1, tank 2, and a reserve tank. The reserve tank you can only access if the room is powered on, which it is. So let's see here. We've got the fountain, the reservoir, the aquarium, the greenhouse, the pool, or the kitchen. Let's drain the fountain, shall we? Good, good, good. Okay. And let's drain tank 1. Put it into the reserve. Okay. Now this is where it gets confusing for me. because I want to drain into tank 1 again. Okay. So let's reverse these pumps. Do I have to set all of them to reverse? Or is it that the greenhouse can't take... It should be able to take 4 units from this. Okay. I don't know why it will fill the kitchen, but not the greenhouse. Regardless. Yes, yes, drain away. We're going to drain 4 more units out of that. And switch. There's 4 more units. The fountain has only 1 unit of water left. We're going to fill up the greenhouse. And there we go. The fountain is completely drained. I will have to show you guys what that does in a bit. For right now, we've got more exploring in the house to do. The laboratory, not a bad one. I'm going to do passageway because it gives us another chest in the entrance hall, and it is powered. Dark room. The servants' quarters. We've never seen the servants' quarters before. There. Nice number of keys. There are 12 major keys. Hartley, I know we spoke often of this day, and I don't think there's anything I can say of the past 40 years that I haven't already attempted to tell you in numerous times in the past. Half-stated gratitude always interrupted with tactful and polite repudiations from you. I had always known this final letter could give me the perfect opportunity to finally express myself uninterrupted by you and unfettered by social graces. but I don't feel the inclination to say aloud what has always been unsaid between us. With my passing, I release you from your post and service to the Sinclair family and implore you to live the remainder of your years on your own terms, as scary and unfamiliar of a concept as that may be to you. Besides, I think a more junior valet would be better suited to meet the needs of young Master Simon. To that end, if you wish, you may stay on long enough to oversee the training and establishment of your successor in their post. But as soon as he or she has the lay of the land, my instructions for you to quit must be satisfied. Ignoring what I imagined your objections might be after reading this, I have decided to leave the lake house in Trinsdale to you and your family. My lawyers have all the details of the gift and will be contacting you shortly about the particulars. For the past 4 decades, you have served willingly as the subject and victim to my many whims, games, and riddles, and so rest assured, unlike my nephew, you will not be put to yet another challenge to prove yourself worthy in this manner. The house is yours without strings or stipulations. I had for a time gleefully entertained the notion of employing Anne as the house manager of your new residence, but I knew the humor of such a prank would be entirely lost on you, to say nothing of her. Until we meet again, my friend, Herbert. Interesting. Grain and rain. And we got bells for the various special rooms. Mr. Rhoda, Mrs. Babbage has told me that you will be overseeing network maintenance. Ooh, network maintenance. Admin key, first 4 letters of your last name followed by first initial. The first and 5th character should be capitalized. So, RUOT and then something. Mrs. Babbage has told me that you will be overseeing network maintenance over the next few weeks while I will be gone, and I apologize in advance for the extra workload. I believe I will be back in Reddington by the middle of February, but even that is not a certainty. Either way, I do not anticipate there will be any major issues while I am gone, as the difficulties we were having last month with the terminal connections seem to be resolved. If there is an emergency and you find yourself having to enter the central server site, I have set you up with a temporary admin key to allow you access to the network administrator controls. Admin key is first 4 letters of your last name followed by the first initial. First and 5th character should be capitalized. If you have any questions, please let me know in the next few days before my departure. Randolph. Okay. Hartley. Mr. Rhoda. So, RUOTH. We will have to remember that. Yeah, I've got 13 keys. I can afford one. And I can afford to not put in the weight room. Because that's terrible. Let's go with the archive one and see what we get. Oh, we get the locksmith. Okay. We're just shy of being able to get either a lockpicking kit or special keys. That's a shame. Okay, well, time to backtrack a bit. If we head back to the aquarium, there is another path forward. Let's do the office. There we go. Electronic mail from Anne Babbage next week. Sir, you have not left me any instructions for the following week, and you know how much I hate leaving critical plans up until the last minute. As soon as you decide on definite plans for the holidays, please pass a message on to me, either through Hartley, who is valeting for you this weekend, or if you absolutely insist, through this confounded electronic typewriter. And Babbage. Okay. Fuse box repair, eh? Interesting here. When you're out here next week, please test that the correct sequence is off, blue, green, white, red, purple. That is worth taking a photo of, because that is a special key for the fuse box room, the utility room. Dear Herbert, we just wanted to let you know that the changes you requested to your will have been implemented and notarized. If your premonition, God forbid, should bear fruit, rest assured that your plans will be executed down to the last detail. McGuire, McKinley, and McDougal. The VAC indicator lights installed per instructions have been turned on. However, it should be noted that the white indicator is only displayed after syncing all 6 indicators to purple. If this is not the desired functionality, let us know and we will fix it in our regular service visit next week. So that was worth reading up on. Let's go through here. Hey, the music room or the utility room. Alright, this is a dead end, but these VAC indicators, we want, one of them has to be white, so we want to get that one to white. How do we do that to purple? Okay. Ah. Okay, so that goes to purple. Okay, now they're all purple. That's step 1, because you can only get the white to show up if they're all synced purple. And we need this one to be white. Good. This one needs to be red. And purple. Good. And then this one needs to be off. This one needs to be blue. And that one needs to be green. The The Gemstone Cavern has been permanently unlocked and added to your campsite. Starting tomorrow, you will start each new day with 2 gems. Not bad. Okay. Well, unfortunately, we're out of doors. So let's race back to the... No, not that way. Let's race back to the entrance hall. Nope, not this way. I keep thinking I know where I'm going, and I keep being wrong. Was there any gems moved in here? No, but another key that's kind of useless now. A turnip. Okay, that'll give us enough steps. The fruits of our labors here. The silver key. Ivory dice. More ivory dice. And more coins. But the real star of the show is the fountain. I don't know if you remember, but a while back, I tossed a coin in the fountain. And that coin is still there. And there's a secret door. But the basement door is locked. So we will have to come back when we have the key to the basement. But we now have a way to get to the basement. So that's cool. Let's go check out that Gemstone Cavern. Very nice. Here's the last of the equipment for the new mine. I don't think we're going to need more than this, especially if we're going to limit excavation to 2 stones per day. I was told by the engineer that getting greedier than that might risk the structural integrity of the cave walls, so I suppose we'll have to adhere to his expert opinion, at least for now. We managed to remove all but 1 minecart from the old tunnels, 2 of which were too rusted and worn down to be of any use to us up here, so Dave went ahead and made the call to scrap them. I'm not sure that the foreman is going to be too happy about that, but hopefully you can smooth it over. Now, there is still 1 more cart down there, but it's locked on a short track and it's way too difficult to move from the reservoir side. It's a little bit awkward because it's blocking the passage, so I suggest someone move it from the other side if they can get over there. The boss informed us that there are 2 other ways into the site from that side, but I think we're going to leave that for someone else to finish up if the old man really wants it done. Interesting. And of course, our 4th one of these. Oh my. Let's get over there. Racing as fast as I can here. Hut, hut, hut. Let's see where this takes us. Quite a view. The precipice. Yeah, that's a precipice, all right. Foreman's Log 3. As our client Thomas Sinclair suspected, the arches that were visible from the south cliffs were part of a much longer arcade carved into the rock face. Last week, when our crew first arrived, only 2 supporting pillars were visible. But after only a few days of clearing vines, moss, and dirt, we have uncovered a dozen more. Our exploration so far has been limited and entirely superficial, as every shaft we have surveyed has ended abruptly, and every promising path leading deeper into the mountain has been blocked by tunnels packed tight with soil, rock, and debris. This site is either much older than we had first assumed, or someone deliberately had these chambers buried. I can't do anything with this, can I? No. Oh, look, there's a waterfall there. A chessboard shaped like the room maze layout with chess pieces. Interesting. We can't solve it yet, but those chess pieces in the rooms are significant for this puzzle. And it looks like the wall is pretty badly cracked here. This door is locked. No way to open it from this side. Foreman's copy, do not remove from sight. Realms and something, sigils of the past and presumably present, by Professor R. Willard. Fen Aries, Robert Birds and Sons, 1905. Something, first era found something, either of a natural something, from the creations of something, accustomed to record something, various signs with the aid of something. They did this in order that the something of their realm might not be understood by strangers. Historically speaking, sigils are not a new tradition. They have been found in every era and every culture and predate both written text and heraldic arts. However, today when we use the term sigil, we are referring specifically to realm sigils, those crude circular markings of designation found on royal artifacts, buildings, and older documents. This book was written to make simple the understanding of these fascinating glyphs and to clearly display the correlation between each sigil and the iconography of that realm's royal art. How is the image of a leafless burning tree seen in geometric lines, and what does that tell us of a kingdom's history? Each line, each circle, and each variation tells a story of the land. Even the adorned borders around the sigils have special meanings. The sigil. To understand a realm sigil, we must first dismantle the symbol and identify the individual elements that make up the whole. Each sigil is composed of 4 things: the core, the dividing lines or rays, the moats, and the border. The core. At the center of each sigil is a unique shape, different for each realm. If the core gives us a name and then the rest of the sigil if the core gives us the name, then the rest of the sigil tells us the history behind that name. Still, it is important to be able to identify and distinguish the core as a first step in deciphering any sigil, as all the other parts are meaningless if we don't first know the place we are describing. Notice an hourglass shape, and a heart shape, and a mountain shape. We saw those in the classroom. There are colors associated with them. The rays. From the core will come lines splitting the sigil. From one sigil to another, there's different number, style, and the differences in these reveal several things. There's really nothing intelligible from this page. Barely anything intelligible from that page. Alright. Wavy lines, presumably talking about the rays still. Wavy lines are used to indicate extreme heat. The scorched air and blazing sun cause the otherwise straight rays to appear shimmering. A rainy realm is indicated with rays of 3 vertical lines pouring down. For more extreme stormy weather, a jagged lightning-shaped ray is used. A ray dotted with falling circles is used for colder realms in which snow is a common occurrence. Windy weather is displayed on sigils by the use of bent curved lines, rays buckling under the high winds. Moats. On each sigil, floating between the rays, are small figures called moats. From the shape and style of the moats used on a sigil, we can tell the type of society a given realm proclaimed, if they considered themselves mighty in arms or blessed by artistic and economic fortune. Tribal, a primitive realm, hunter and gatherers. Agricultural, harvest and farming based society and culture. Martial, that's military, but it's torn off there. Metropolitan, large city-state with a dense urban and populous center. Academic, a center for knowledge advanced in various scholarly pursuits. These realms are home to many schools, universities, and libraries. Industrial, engineering-driven culture with a focus on manufacturing, invention, and production. Spiritual, an elevated reverence for nature, animals, and the forces that guide us. Poetic, looks like a little flower, a strong focus on the advancement of the arts, writing, music, and language. And the border. Around each sigil is an adorned edge serving as a container for the information within. There are 8 different borders, each one corresponding to a different color. I told you, colors are important. These borders always correspond to the banner and national colors of that specific realm. White, black, red, pink, violet, green, yellow, orange, and white again. Putting it all together, by studying the core, rays, moats, and border of a sigil, you should now be able to unlock the meaning behind what had previously been an undecipherable enigma. Red banners with red crossed out. Martial fog. We haven't seen any of these realm sigils so far. We're going to have to be on the lookout for them. And on the lookout for a way to open that door. And on the lookout for a way to solve that chess puzzle. Yeah. Guys, we are nowhere close to solving this game's mysteries. But we've made very good progress today. Just run upstairs. And it doesn't look like we've got a planetarium, so there's no point in going to any specific place to call it a day. But we got a lot done. There's still a lot to come. I hope you guys are enjoying things. Let's call it a day. See what we get for our results screen. A sizable inn. 5 bedrooms. Total rooms 32. Rank reached 7. Steps taken 90. Items found 7. New rooms 7. Not bad. And we still haven't made it to the antechamber and to room 46. But we will. It just takes time. So thank you guys for tuning in tonight if you did. Thank you guys for watching this on YouTube if that's where you're watching it from. I hope that everybody's enjoying this stream so far. This is seriously one of my favorite games. I say that like every stream, but it is. So for right now, until next time, we'll see you.